the newest thing in national news is actually the health craze going around with apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is one of the largest things that it helps lower blood sugar in some diabetes patients, but some doctors say it only works if you have starch in your diet. Moving on to the weight loss portion of it, it's helped lower body weight, body mass index, visceral fat, waist measurements, and also triglyceride levels. But for the actual weight loss part of it, it's only minimal. It doesn't really help as much unless if you help with exercise and portion control as you're also drinking the apple cider vinegar. Most people don't realize this, but it's actually really good to put in your salad because you can't actually taste if it's in there or not, so that's a great way to get it in your body. Teeth whitening. Many dentists actually disagree with using apple cider vinegar on your teeth because the acid on your teeth can wear away the enamel, which can cause future issues with your teeth. Now, some people actually ask if they can use it on their skin. Of course you can use it on your skin. Many people actually say that treatment for skin infections, acne, and fight dandruff is one of the main things that apple cider vinegar is used for. The acidity in the vinegar actually helps dry up the pimples and get rid of the dandruff. Cleaning is one of households' #1 priorities, and one helpful agent is actually apple cider vinegar. The acidity of it helps fight against mold, and is biodegradable, and because of its low pH, it's great against alkaline grime, such as hard water and mineral deposits, as well as soap scum. As you can see from all our facts about apple cider vinegar, it's a very commonly used household item. So if you don't have it, you should probably go get some. Now back to you, Kristen.
In state news, there was a recent stabbing at the University of Texas at Austin. There was some stabbings there. And so now we have a witness. Hello, witness.
Hi.
So what were you doing at the time of the stabbing?
I was stealing some kid's mozzarella sticks. They look kind of like you. But as I was making my getaway, a guy just started walking up to this one girl. He started stabbing her. I ran.
Are you okay though?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good to know. Did you enjoy your mozzarella sticks? Good to know.
Hi, I'm Becca Fowler. Today I'm covering our local news segment. We're going to hear from Christian Varela and Christian Orad about the Round Rock Christian Academy football team. They're going to talk to us about a little bit about their season and what the season holds. Let's hear from them.
So I'm feeling pretty confident about the game tonight. I feel like our running game on offense will be quite superb. I just have a solid gut feeling that our Jet 34 hammer will just be something for the record books, and Coach Kochek's going to be proud.
As far as receiving it, we're gonna do everything we can. I'm just gonna make my routes as best as possible. Trust my quarterback to give me the ball and just come down with it tight. That's what we're feeling for.
And as for Concordia, I feel like they're not going to be on their game that night. It's a home game for them, but we're going to come and hit them hard from the away side of the field. So I'm feeling pretty good that they're going to drop a few balls back there in the backfield and that their running game is going to be off.
Yeah, it's gonna be all up to us making our reads, coming off the line and letting them get past us, have to hit hard and get low. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, of course, our success depends on you, the viewers. So
we want all of y'all to come out and support us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need all the fans that we can get for this away game. Because if you live right next door, you might as well drop by and just come watch the game, y'all.
And y'all could watch history play out because it's gonna be the first playoff appearance. If we manage to win, we'll get a playoff spot. And this is gonna be coming back from an 0-10 season, which wasn't the best thing. But us seniors, we pulled together. We led this team this far, hoping to make it even farther.
That was good. Yeah. We won. Got a playoff appearance. Yeah.
We're gonna take a nap.
Come back tomorrow.
Rand, 1 in a million. One you need to get your life done right.
Swoosh, the one you need.
What is 13 Reasons Why?
It's a show on Netflix about a girl who commits suicide.
And she sends out 13 tapes to members of her class, each tape having a reason why she committed suicide. And each one explained like certain events that happened to her. The main character, Hannah Baker, she goes through the 13 reasons. She was bullied, her friends left her, she was harassed sexually by other members in the school. And when she finally goes to somebody, a faculty member of the school administration, to tell her her problems, they just brush her off, saying it's a you problem, and it's really sad when you think about it. And
Yeah, she had her whole life ahead of her, and she had this kid, Clay, that she was in love with, and then he was obviously in love with her too, but then he was too afraid to love her back and accept those feelings, so then nothing ever happened between her, and then she kind of like, she got even more depressed, and she couldn't go to anyone because like she said, they would always brush her off and stuff.
so the series as a whole, it's very interesting, but unfortunately, due to its ratings and how they don't censor language, it is TVMA on Netflix. And in a previous discussion that I had with a few of my friends, we determined that 13 Reasons Why is a good outlet for people to watch and observe. Like if you're watching the show, it's best that you watch it with someone else and then discuss after every episode, because suicide is a very serious thing. You can't just reverse suicide. There's no way. And usually for people who are considering suicide, they usually have it planned out. It's never a last minute or a sudden decision. So for people who struggle with like suicidal thoughts or have depression, shouldn't watch the show unless they're watching it with someone else. But even then, I wouldn't completely recommend it, because suicide is a horrible thing, and it can affect not only you but all of the people around you. That being said, 13 Reasons Why does tend to normalize and in a sense even romanticize the idea of suicide, like as taking the easy way out. And there was an actual report, I don't know the specific details of it, in which someone tried to imitate 13 Reasons Why and attempted to commit suicide while doing the same things that the main character Hannah Baker did, which is one of the big driving reasons why you shouldn't watch it alone. But if you are going to watch it with someone and discuss about it, it is a very good series. It does bring light and attention to the idea of suicide, but it depends all on how you interpret it and whether or not you discuss like the moral implications and what could have gone better to make that could have saved Hannah Baker.
The show was based on a novel, and the author almost made an alternate ending where she did survive, but he thought it was too important of a topic to save her, and he thought that this was a topic that needed to be discussed, and so he did kill her, and he thought that people should take this seriously and not joke about it.
How does this focus on bullying?
This is ultimately what led to her committing suicide, was the bullying, and people should not bully, and it's not a good thing at all, because it does lead to this, not just for Hannah, but for everyone around the world who are still suffering. But those people who are suffering, they're too afraid to speak out, and so they don't, and they just let it happen, and they shouldn't.
We as Christians should look for the signs in which people may be struggling with suicidal thoughts or have extreme cases of depression, because suicide is just such a horrible thing, and it encompasses it is of the top 3 causes of death in teenagers.
Yes.
So, we as Christians, I feel like we should be horrified and angered by the thought of suicide, but we should reach out to others and try to help them if they struggle with those thoughts.
Do you think there's something that Hannah could have done to, like, not instead of killing herself?
A part of me thinks about this really closely because I do it sometimes, is that Hannah Baker didn't really go to her parents in any of the situations, in any of the 13 reasons why. She never had a moment in which she asked her mother or her father to help her, possibly either because she felt like she could handle it herself at first, and then later on thought that they couldn't do anything to change it or would only make the situation worse, hence why she went to someone from the school to talk about her problems rather than her parents. And I feel like if her parents knew beforehand, more could have been done to prevent her suicide. But at the same time, there's a memory verse that I remember that states that a friend is closer than a brother. So I think one of the main driving factors outside of the bullying and the sexual harassment is that none of her friends throughout the series stayed with her or tried to help her. As soon as she became a target for bullying, they disappeared on her. Whenever she was down at her lowest points, she had no one to turn to. And I feel like if those people had stayed in her life, she wouldn't have decided to commit suicide.
Thank you.
The animals have escaped from the zoo. What do we do now?
I'm afraid. I'm actually afraid.
Has this ever happened to you? If so, take Taekwondo.
Thank you, Rebecca Ballard, today for our interview segment of today's news. Today we have special guest Sophia Berg.
Thanks for having me, Becca. These complimentary cups are just real cool. I didn't know it was full. Can I get a towel?
I think we're all out of towels. That's okay. So, today I'm going to interview Sophia about what it's like and how she impacts the community by worshiping with our RRCA worship band. So, Sophia, what got you interested in the praise and worship band at RRCA in the first place?
Well, I started off as a little 6th grader at Wellspring United Methodist Church, and they had some holes to fill, playing the bass guitar and singing, and Rodney got me involved, and when I heard that we had one at school, I was like, better go for it.
Plot twist, she went for it. So what is your favorite part about it?
My favorite part is actually just like being a leader in front of everyone, like knowing that they can come to me like about that stuff and being taken seriously for that is like really important to me. So
That's really cool. If there's anything you could do to improve the worship band, what would you do?
I might take some song classes, just like because I know some people get frustrated with having the same ones or not knowing it. It might be cool to just like get a feeler out there, and say what people want to hear.
Just like. So do you see any changes on campus because of the worship at chapel?
I definitely think that like it connects a lot of people in a different way that you can't get like from just like worship. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just like a different type of closeness and like just togetherness that comes from like worshiping together.
Yes, that's a really good fact about that. Yeah, for sure. What do you feel like when you're up there on stage?
Something that's really important to me is like just making sure that I remember that it's not about me and it's not about what people are doing. Like at the beginning of the year, it was, I know a lot of people in the chapel band were frustrated because like it's pretty discouraging when you're like singing and you look out into the crowd and everyone just looks like they're dead and they're not singing and they're not like doing anything. And so I just got to a point where like I forget that I'm on stage and it's just me and God. And I try not to think about anything else.
So, are you ever nervous or anxious about the outcome of what a performance will bring?
Only every time I get on stage. So just the leading up moments, and then I got on there and I'm like, okay, it's cool. It's just me and God. But before, I'm always like, so.
So, does worship band ever like affect your faith at all?
Definitely. We used to practice at 7 a.m. on every Monday, which is really early, but also like Mondays are already rough, and it kind of ended up being like the perfect start to my day to just like get to school and like settle down and like just worship.
That's really cool. So do the other people in the band encourage each other like they should? Like are they all like pretty, like are you like a family?
I definitely say that. Like it can be frustrating when we're getting into a new song and like we don't have that many practices, so it's easy to get like stressed out and like what's gonna happen on stage. Like we haven't been over this enough times, but we just like try to stay calm and encourage each other. Like okay, we'll do it the next time. Keep going.
So do you have any words of encouragement to anyone out there who's thinking about maybe possibly like joining a worship band or starting one after school?
I think as long as you come into it with the right mindset and the right heart, like you don't need to worry about anything else. Like you don't need to worry about like what other people are gonna say about you or what they think of you or how you look on stage. Like ultimately, if you feel led like to lead worship in front of everyone, that takes a lot of guts and a lot of bravery. You should do it.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Sophia Bird and our guest star,
Favorite cat.
Back to you, Kristen.
Good morning and welcome to the BFKO News. And now let's go to Sarah for the weather.
Looks like we have a 98% chance of rain. Make that a 2% chance of rain and a 98% chance of clear skies. Back to Kristen.
Well said, Sarah. Now we know the weather.
Okay,
My name's Becca Fadler, and you're here with BFKO. You're here with the interview segment of our news today. Thank you, Sophia Burke, for joining us and giving us wise words of encouragement.
And now, a magic trick.
She's gone! So moving on to our next question.
Shouldn't even go here. She doesn't.
Okay, moving on. So moving on to our next question.
She doesn't even go here. She doesn't.
Okay, moving on.
Everybody, run for your lives!